Hi everyone, I am AKSRajveer. So students, if you are interested on my paid classes, so you can join my paid classes on Unacademy platform. And want to watch free classes? So then join me daily at 5 p.m. on Unacademy application. For more information, you can message me on this number. And students, the prices of Unacademy subscription. The paid subscription where you will get complete notes and complete classes for UGC NET, SET and GATE exam. So students, yes, the prices of these courses are going to be high. So if you are interested, so then join today within 2 or 3 days students. So I think subscription prices will be increased. So if you are interested, so then join today and have any kind of query, so contact me on the given number. And do not forget to watch daily 5 p.m. my free special classes. So today I'm going to discuss with you Renaissance. As you can see on your screen, what does Renaissance mean? So students, Renaissance mean because this is a French word. And this French word was first time used by whom? So the word was used by Jules Michelet. Jules Michelet is the name that, the scholar, a French scholar who used first time word Renaissance. What does Renaissance mean? So Renaissance means rebirth. And basically Renaissance, a pan-European movement that symbolizes the beginning of a new era in art and a kind of rebirth in classical learning. Basically, Renaissance that can be divided into three parts: early Renaissance, high Renaissance, and late Renaissance. So the early Renaissance that began from 13th to 14th century, and then high Renaissance, so from 14th to 15th century, so until the end of 15th century, and then the late Renaissance, so the 16th century. So this is the division of Renaissance. Basically, where the Renaissance was begin. This is the very first question from where it is started. So it started from Florence during 13th century with the writing of Dante Alighieri. So Dante, the writer of Divine Comedy, and the Petrarch, who students here introduced a new form of writing, sonnet, so Petrarch. And then during 15th century, so this particular movement, Renaissance, a pan-European movement, so this spread all over the Europe, from Florence to rest of the Italy, and then later on Europe. And in this time period, you have seen the invention of printing press. So printing press that was invented by a German painter. The name of painter is Johannes Gutenberg. So this particular, printer, Johannes Gutenberg, so he introduced printing press in Germany. But later on, you have seen 1476. In England, the printing press was introduced by William Caxton. So see the historical background. What are the basic causes of behind the Renaissance? So during 1453, the fall of Constantinople. So this is the major incident in the history. The capital of Byzantine Empire. The modern name of the Constantinople city is Istanbul, and in Hindi Kustumtunia. So fall of Constantinople in the year 1453. The fall, the reason behind this one fall is the Turkish attack led by Sultan Muhammad. At that time, Sultan Muhammad, so he was only 21-year old, right? Sultan Muhammad II, so he was only 21-year old. And you must know him, when he was 19-year old, so he was on throne, students, okay? Yes. So taken place of his father. Renaissance, so what it brought? So Renaissance brought ancient Greek text and brought a kind of different learning, because with the fall of Constantinople, The scholars that were used to live in the city, Holy Byzantine city, so they fled from the city due to attack. And then later on, students, having their own manuscripts. So with their manuscripts, they fled away from the city, Byzantine city or Constantinople. Then later on, they are learning, so that become part of this spread, and peoples they started adopting their learning. So the development in natural science, philosophy and mathematics takes place. The prominent Renaissance scholar like Petrarch, Decius Erasmus, and Guillaume Beude and Michel de Montaigne. So these are the prominent scholar students. And in the second wave, because the first wave that started from Florence, and the second wave, so this was in Germany, Poland, France, and then later on other northern countries, students. So when Renaissance in India started, so in the year 1828, so this is the year when Renaissance in India came, right? So basically Renaissance is known as the period for humanism and all. Petrarch, so he is known as the founder of Renaissance humanism. Rise in humanism. So people started understanding to each others, and then later on they worked for each other too. Thomas More, so in England, Thomas More, one of the important figure. He was the Lord Chancellor of King Henry VIII and written a prominent work named Utopia, one of the important work. Then Decius Erasmus, so one of the important figure and known for Christian scholars, and his most important philosophy that came in his work, Praise of Folly. This is the important work you can see on your screen, Praise of Folly. And Thomas More and Erasmus both were friends too. Nicholas Copernicus, so he came and then he was a mathematician, an astronomer, and even a Catholic clergyman. And what he did, so he introduced one, system, so universal system of universe. So what he said, universe that placed the sun rather than earth at the center of the universe. What he said that earth is in the center and other other stars or other planets, so just they are around the earth instead of sun. Earth is at the center of the universe, right? And the other scientists like Galileo, Kepler. So Galileo, he invented yes, Galileo. So what he invented basically, so Galileo is known for telescope, and Kepler and Newton, so these all important scientists came in the period. In the Italy, so you have seen the painter like Raphael, Leonardo and Bellini, Michelangelo. So these were the major painters. So and their paintings, so that are much famous. Even the painting of Mona Lisa, one of the important painting. Martin Luther later on in England. So yes, Martin Luther, he came with Reformation. Yes, you can see, students, there is a painting by Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci, and the name of the painting that you can see on your screen. So the name of the painting is Vitruvian Man. So this particular painting that was drawn by the Leonardo da Vinci in the year 1487, just after Renaissance. And this drawing is based on the correlations of ideal human proportions. You can see the proportion. So this is the square and you can see a circle is also there, and the body of a man has been fitted on it. So what it described, students, so promotion with geometry by the ancient Roman architect Vitruvius. So Vitruvius was a man, given a number of terms associated with geometry and all. So what Leonardo da Vinci he described, so he described the human figure as the principal source of proportion among all the ordered, students, you can see. So Renaissance in England, when it reached, because it was started with the fall of Constantinople. So fall of Constantinople that takes place in the year 1453. So it is started in England in the year 1550 and then ended in the year 1660 with the beginning of neoclassical era. So it was the time period of rediscovery and different voyages that were started in in England, and the growth of vernacular literature. What does it mean though? So the literature of Dante, Petrarch, Boccaccio. So this became model for English writers. So Dante, so he was much imitated by the different English scholars. Petrarch, so his writing pattern like sonnets and also that were introduced in English. Boccaccio, so students, Boccaccio, so he was his pattern was adopted by the Geoffrey Chaucer, right? You can see. And then Roger Ascham, he came. So what he was doing basically, so he was one of the great philosopher and figure associated with Elizabeth students. So Elizabethan era, one of the important era, and even Elizabethan time period of English history is known as the golden period. So he was the tutor of Elizabeth and he used to teach Greek and Latin languages to the princess. And a number of points are in this period, so you must remember. So different voyages and discoveries and humanism and then classical learning. So these all were the things that are important. So Greek and Latin language and spirit of adventure and discoveries can be seen in Renaissance period. So these are the major Renaissance authors from England like Francis Bacon and Thomas More, Francis Beaumont and Thomas Nash, George Chapman, William Raleigh, Thomas Dekker, William Shakespeare, John Donne and James Shirley, John Fletcher, Philip Sidney, John Ford and Edmund Spenser, Ben Jonson, John Webster, Thomas Kidd, Thomas Witt, and Christopher Marlowe, William Tyndale, Philip Messenger, and Thomas Middleton. So these are the most important figure from England from Renaissance period. So this is all about Renaissance. So students, simply you can say Renaissance was a pan-European movement that was basically started from Florence and then Constantinople and then all over Europe and then in England during 1550. So you can see Renaissance, one of the important moment, and sometimes students you can also see scholars are not agree with the term that Renaissance was something or it brought something. Just they are referring that this was a kind of beginning of modern era, early modern era students, okay? So Renaissance sometime it is referred as the early modern era because a number of scholars, so they are not satisfied the term that it was a rebirth or beginning of classical learning at all. So thank you so much for watching this particular video, and in my upcoming videos students I'm going to discuss with you another term, so stay tuned with me till the upcoming video, and please do not forget to share this particular video with your friends. Thank you so much, bye and take care. Do not forget to watch my free special classes on Unacademy platform, and interested candidate can also join my paid classes on the platform. Thank you so much, bye, take care and good night.